Hello peoples. Polytunnel day, whenever it is, I think it's day 9 now of 2020. I'm losing the I can't remember what day it is. A good day in the polytunnel. Move some things around, put another tray down there to put some more bits and pieces on. They fit between these risers for the platform, which works quite nicely, so it gives me more room to put things. I've put some more seeds in here. I can't remember off the top of my head what they all are. The ones I did last night, but I bought some covers, so I was running out of covers, so I bought 3 covers from Wilco. Should be 3 for 2, and they've charged me £3 for 3. Should have been £2, but I've got to go up there again tomorrow, so I'll just take on the receipt and say I think you overcharged me. I'm going to buy another 3 of them. They're only cheap plastic things, but they'll do for the time being. And actually stack up and they will last me a couple of years. So they're not plastic for plastic's sake. So anyway, so I've been tidying up this corner as well. Getting lots of the pots and pans and whatever you want to call them out of the way. That can go now. The biggest thing is, the reason why that's there is because it had my new skins for the doors. Because if you remember, this is about, it's probably 18 months old now, but if you remember, the first one I had only lasted a season, and I didn't complain, but I did say I'm not very impressed with it, and they sent me a brand new one worth £100 for free, which is half the price of Polytunnel, to be perfectly honest. And they not a problem at all. I said really sorry, and they sent it to me. And if you remember, if you go back 18 months ago, I think it was February, I was a bit fed up. I was going to give up. But I had the mojo come back to me, and I dug everything up and I put this all on, and then went for it again. Anyway, so when I looked at it, when I first had it, I thought they'd only sent me 1 door anyway. So I left them on, the old doors, and I thought, well, you know, when they start to deteriorate too much, I'll just put the one on, and the other one I'll put some clear plastic on. So I got the box open today, and basically thought, I'll get this one done, because this is the one I use mainly. And I got the box open and took the one out, and I suddenly found they'd actually sent me 2, so fair play to them. So I've done that one, and I've done the other one as well. You can tell that's the new one. They did both come out at the same time. This is what UV light does to these types of covers. That's got a very bluey colour because the UV is getting to it now. I've got a feeling next year I'm going to have to replace it with proper whatever you call it, polytunnel cover. Which isn't a problem, because the frame on this is the reason why I bought it. The frame's it's 32mm. It's the thickest frame I could get at the time, on the cheaper budget. They do not make this any longer, and all of the ones they make now are 28mm. This is a really good solid frame. I've had nothing blow up, but if those have remember and have followed me for a number of years, when I first put this up, it's actually the wooden posts are concreted into plastic buckets, sunk down the soil, so ain't going to go anywhere anyway. And the way that I've made the back of the raised beds, they all sit on the bottom rail. It ain't going nowhere. So I'm glad that I've got them doors done today, and already there's another 2-3 degrees on top of the temperature in here. I've replaced my thermometer because somebody has taken my old one, although it was starting to get a bit knackered. So I've just bought that from, but I've got to bloody take the plastic thing out, the battery, to get it working, but I can't see the plastic. It must be inside here, and obviously I need one of those tiny little screwdrivers to get it open. So hopefully I've got one at home. I should have. I've got some computer screwdrivers, etc., which should fit that, and I might have some in the car, actually, thinking about it, because I've got half the car to put back together again. But hey, that's another question, that's another discussion. So yes, and also I've tidied all this up. So I've also put the blood, snot and bone that I had left, that was in this container here. I've emptied that because there's only a little bit left, and I've put it in these metal containers here, which has freed that up. So my 6X pellets bag I put in there. So that bag's gone now, so it gives me a bit more space. I've been tidying up this a bit as well. Multi-purpose is down there, so I've been cleaning it out, making it a bit more ship shape. I know what I've got in here now as well, so we're getting there. That's all ready to go. It rained this afternoon, so I sat in here and no water came through the ceiling apart from a little tiny bit late when it had finished up here, so there might be a little bit of a hole here, but that's fine, I can sort that out. I'm keeping the old doors and I've actually got the old cover, so I'm going to start cutting panels off if it starts to leak, and then sticking them on the top with some what do they call it, the clear with a gun. You use it home, you know, at home. Sealants. Sorry about that. Brain's not in gear. I'll tell you the reason why in a minute. Top of the garden. Sorry, top of the allotment. Same as it's been. I just keep checking it over and making sure nobody's done anything to it, which I'm sure they won't. But yeah, that's all looking okay. It's all ready to go. Right, now bottom half. Not drastic changes, but the biggest drastic change is I've dug this over today. Some more there. It doesn't took me too long. That's the only weed I got out of here, so that's all been dug over properly. Old Brussels sprouts can go. I'm going to chop them up tomorrow, so I'll leave them there for the time being. That's all looking okay, so I can leave that to what it's doing at the moment. So these are all done, so I can get the potatoes in tomorrow hopefully, in here, this one. See how many I can get in, and then this one I'm not too sure. If I haven't got enough room for all the potatoes in there, I might have to use this, but hopefully I don't have to, because I want to put some brassicas in here, although the sprouts went in there last year, but I think it'll be okay. And then tomorrow, depending on the weather, because it's getting a bit messy now, but hopefully I can do at least half of this bed. The weeds haven't grown up there. Potatoes were in there last year and I dug all that over, and there's hardly any weeds in there at all, so I don't think that'll take me 5 seconds to do. As I'm getting further down the plot from sort of this end, from here this way, I've found lots of less grass weeds, if you know what I mean. It's not bindweed, but you obviously get the roots in, which look like bindweed. They're not, they're the grass. And as I'm getting further down from here, sorry I moved a bit fast then, so I'm getting further down from here to here, there's less and less and less and less and less. So like I say, this particular bed didn't take that long to do. I came here about 7 o'clock, it's about 7:45 now. I've done all of that in one go with a fork. So hopefully, I'm not going to stand on any of these beds, as I try not to do that anyway, but hopefully this will be the same. See if I can get, even if I just get half of this done tomorrow without kidding myself, and then get some more stakes in here and try and straighten all this out. But as I said before, I'm thinking of cutting these. I've got wood at home, thick wood, to do, splitting these into 3 sections with 2 little paths between them. So I just find these are just too big for me to keep in one go. That's why I tried to split these off, and that piece of wood meant to go a bit further. I'm going to probably leave this one as it is for the time being. This piece of wood should actually go from here to there, so I only get a small unit in the middle, 2 larger ones and then a small one in the middle. This one I really want to get 3. That's probably a 6 foot gap, another 6 foot, and then a gap, and then 6 foot. So they'll be 6 foot by, I think that's 5 foot or maybe 4 foot. I'm trying to think now. I think they might be 4 foot or 5 foot. I think they're 5 foot. So it's 5 foot by 6 foot. or maybe 7 foot. Thinking about it, be 7 foot because it's 26 foot, 2 foot, 2 foot. That's 4 minus 26. It's 22 divided by, it's 21. So it'll be 7. They'll probably be about 7 foot in length and 5 foot in width. And I think that'll be far better for me to be able to manage. And then I can get all the pathways done, get all that pathway completed, and also by doing it I only need one piece of wood across there then, because that's never been finished properly. I was always one short, and no point going buying one because the delivery charge would be £10, so I could probably go and get a small section in the car, but never bother to go and do it. So I think that'll be better for me. If you think any different, let me know, but that's just me and trying to be a little bit more sensible. On the bad news, my father's still alive. He's still fighting in hospital. It is coronavirus he's had. I got the information today. God only knows how he's got it, because he hasn't been out for ages, for weeks and weeks and weeks. I mean, mum, the only person that's been with him is my mum. So he's at a bit this morning, and he's still with us. Time will tell. The little monkey's fighting. However, my mum's not very well, and she's found the doctors today, and she said how she feels, and she's feeling very, very under the weather, possibly because she's worried and stressed. She's more stressed about me getting it. That's what mums do though, isn't it? What parents do as a whole. But she's having nosebleeds and stuff like that, and it's one of the symptoms as well. So, and obviously living with my dad, and he's just been diagnosed with it. Put one and one together and you got two, unfortunately, circumstances. So she might be coming down with it, and with her underlying medical conditions as well. It's not looking good. I've just dropped a few stuff off her at distance, put them in the house while she wasn't in the room, and then put her bin out, and I've come away straight away. That's the score at the moment. So, you know, I hope, I think she's more worried that after all this has ended, that I end up with no parents at all come June. And I'm an only child. Now I've got my daughter, I'm a lovely daughter. I think she's a bit concerned about it, and I've just told her to stop worrying, because that'll make it even worse for her to try and fight this virus, and I'll be fine. Don't worry about me. But yes, it's a very sad time. Didn't know it would have come to this, but it's one of the things, isn't it? We have to keep smiling, we have to keep our heads up, and it makes you feel what people must have gone through, especially with their loved ones in 1939 to 45 or 44, 45, the First World War and all the rest of it, and all major conflicts. But I think the World War II was probably the closest to this. It makes you wonder, makes you feel, crikey, they must have gone through sheer hell. So keep strong, everybody out there. If you like the update, thumbs up. If you don't, obviously put the thumbs down. If you don't, please put in a comment the reasons why. I'm not the world's greatest videoist. That's not the reason why I do this. I keep it as a diary for me to see what I've done and what I've done in the year, in the past year, and it's just saying hello to everybody, especially at this moment in time. Anyway guys, keep safe, look after one another, do what the frigging government say, please. Didn't think it happened to me, but that's just me being naive. Oh, you always think your parents are stronger than anybody in the world, but unfortunately this horrible virus it don't pick the people it should do, really. It only picks those people that are caring people. It doesn't upset those cronies in this world that are nasty and horrible. But hey ho, chin up guys, keep gardening, keep the faith, keep the peace, look after one another. Cheers guys, bye bye.